Hello, this is Miss Pumpkin. I'm Pip. Miss Pumpkin, say hello to the camera. She's shy. Yes, hello, my name is Pip and welcome to whatever this becomes. I'm really not sure at this point what it's gonna become. We'll find out as we go along. I just know that I've been wanting to make videos and things for a while. For right now, I'm here basically as a sort of therapy session for myself, and maybe if I put this anywhere, it can help someone else. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of things that we still don't talk about with mental illness because there is still the entire stigma that you've heard about time and again, and I'm ready to break that and help in the process of breaking that, I guess. And I also just need to talk about things, and I can't afford a therapist right now. So, there's that. I know that for me, watching YouTube videos about people going through things that I'm going through really helps me at least not feel alone and maybe even learn something. So, for now, I guess, welcome to my Antidepressant Diaries. A little about me. Like I may have said, I honestly don't remember a few seconds ago. I'm Pip, and I have been recently given a new diagnosis. I thought I was just depressed. Turns out it's a little bit more, but we'll get to that. Basically, I have been dealing with mental health struggles my entire life. It came to a point that I finally sought out help 2 years ago. Because my mom passed away, I was in college, away from home, everything was going crazy and horrible. It was great. This is just the sob story that I get to tell all my therapists whenever I first meet them, so you get to experience that too. I reached a point where I was just not functioning as a human being anymore. Usually I would be fine. I was sad, but I could still function, like throughout middle school and high school as I was dealing with these things. Even whenever my dad passed away in high school, I still managed to function to a degree, I suppose. I mean, yeah, I did. I'm still here. And then whenever that happened in college, I just wasn't anymore. Like, I could do it, but I didn't want to do it anymore. So I went to a counselor with my school and I talked, and she was like, wow, okay, let's get you a therapist. And I went to one and it helped some. It helped with the grieving aspect of it. We talked about like what I was experiencing with the rest of my family and what was going on in my head, and just kind of reaching a stage of accepting that, because when she passed away I was like away from home, so it didn't feel real for a very long time. I still felt like she was a phone call away and she just wasn't. But therapy helped. And then about mid that semester I was like, okay, this is helping, but like not enough, and I'm doing really badly in all my classes. I'm still very much not focusing when I need to. I have scripts and papers that are so overdue, and thankfully my professors, most of them, are very understanding, but I'm just not doing what I want to do. And she suggested medication, so I went to see a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist said no. For like very valid reasons. She said, you're grieving, you need to feel your feelings. I don't personally believe in medicating people that are in grief. And that's fair, and I buy it. I would need to feel things. But the thing was that I was starting to reach a point where I wasn't feeling things anymore. I just wasn't there half the time, it felt like. But I managed to do it being finished the semester, and in a wild frenzy. I very distinctly remember I had a script to do and a paper due. I had about 12 hours to write a 12-page paper on French gender and history and finish an hour-long spec script of Stranger Things, and I just snapped into a mode and I went hard, and I finished it all in 12 hours. Second semester, this was after I went away for a couple months to stay with a friend. I went back, saw the same therapist, kind of gave up on the whole getting medication because I just figured like she's still not gonna give it to me, I'm just not gonna bother. Kept going to therapy, and eventually it stopped being as helpful. I mean, like, the grieving process never really ends, but I felt that I was over the hump of it. I still grieve to this day, but I no longer needed to be in therapy to process it. Where I was done talking about my family and everything there, and I needed help with what was going on in my current life, with problems I was having within my friend group, with problems I was having in school, because I still wasn't focusing, even now that I was back, and now that I was still, like, sad that, you know, my mom was gone, but, like, accepting it and knowing that I just needed to keep going, I couldn't. I saw her through the rest of the semester. It felt more like a waste of my time, but it was still nice to, like, have someone to talk to, even if she kept trying to drag it back to things that I didn't feel like I needed to talk about. And then at the end of that semester, I went to another psychiatrist because I was about to go away for 3 months without a therapist, and I wasn't doing well. And I told her, I was like, this is what's happening to me. I don't feel emotions the way that I should, I think, and I would like to feel said emotions again, and I would like to function as a human again. So she started me on my first medication, which was Abilify, but I still hadn't gotten any type of, like, diagnosis. To this point, I was still just grieving to everyone else. And this psychiatrist was one that told me specifically, I'm not going to diagnose you, I'm going to treat your symptoms. So she treated my anxiety and depression symptoms with Abilify, and it, like, fit most of my needs at that point. So I was on that for a few months, and I had some side effects, like common ones, lightheadedness. It was a time. So yeah, that happened, and then I went into my senior year of college. I saw a new psychiatrist finally, and that was the first time that anyone had given me any kind of, like, diagnosis. We went over, like, my medication history and what was going on and what I was experiencing, and she just looked at me and, like, why has no one put you on antidepressants? Like, you're depressed. And I was like, that's what I thought too. And yeah, no one ever put me on those. Are you gonna put me on those? Let's put me on those. So I went on Prozac for a year, and, like, Prozac helped a lot. I was functioning again. I went back to therapy with a new therapist who would let me talk about things that I felt I needed to talk about, and I loved her. She was a great therapist. I'm very glad that I met her because she helped me through my senior year, which honestly, in therapy, I was more focused on, like, I need to graduate and get a job more than I was, my brain's broken. Which I think might be why what happened later in the year happened. Later in the year, I remember having a discussion with her where I was like, I feel like I'm faking something because no one will tell me, like, what they think might be going on with me. And, like, that psychiatrist said, like, I was depressed. And that really meant something for me. Labels don't have to mean anything. You don't have to put things in boxes, but I'm just one of those people that, like, I need to know the name of the monster that I'm facing. So that helped a lot. And she told me, basically, whenever she would record our sessions, I wasn't there for depression. I was there for bereavement. I mean, because, like, I know I was. Like, I introduced myself with, hey, my mom died, and now I'm sad. Help? That kind of made me feel again like, oh, I'm making all of this up. Great. Nothing's actually wrong with me. I'm just grieving. That wasn't where my head needed to be. And then I graduated. I had a rough summer after graduation, and that's when I was like, hey, I was doing alright for a minute, and now I'm not doing good. And then finally, everything started to settle down, have a place to live. It's where I'm at right now. Have jobs, on jobs. And now I'm seeing this new psychiatrist, and I'm trying to get my mental health in line. That's kind of where this whole thing begins-ish. Like, that is the past, and now here I am on this new journey to figure out what's happening with my head and how I can learn to live with it, learn what to do to make sure that I can still be a human, even though this is happening. So whenever I first went to her, I was like, hey, I'm back in a place where like I'm just not feeling emotions, I'm numb, and I want to feel emotions again because I know that this isn't normal. She prescribed me this. It helped. I could feel things again, but I was feeling them wildly at the drop of a hat. Like there was more than one occasion that I just broke down into tears at work over seemingly nothing. And then I also like felt irritable suddenly or angry suddenly. I was just having these like mood swings. I was having mood swings. And 2 weeks after I started, I went back to her and I was like, all right, I'm feeling things, and I'm feeling them a lot, and I don't know when I'm gonna feel them, and things are going on, and I'm crying all the time, so that's where I'm at. And so she's like, all right, we'll get you a mood stabilizer. I started a mood stabilizer. I took it for a couple weeks. It helped. I stopped crying at random, and that was good. I could finally just make it through a day without sobbing. And then I was like having these side effects. I got a fever like at the same time every day, and I still don't know if it was related, but whenever I went back to talk to her, she stopped it just in case. So I don't take that anymore, and she assigned me a new one. But it was in that session that something happened that kind of clicked and made me feel a lot better. Like I said, I understand that not everyone likes labels or boxes, not everyone wants a diagnosis. They just want to treat the symptoms, and that's fine. That's how you deal, and that's great for you, but I know my symptoms, but I want to know what's causing them. I need the confirmation, or my brain's gonna tell me, you're faking it, there's nothing wrong with you, really, because that's what's been happening. But in the session, she said so offhandedly even, she just said, yeah, we just need to get you on a mood stabilizer because you're bipolar depressive. And I was like, me? That's a diagnosis from you on this brain. Now I like have that. I know what a medical professional thinks is wrong with me. And I can now look back on what's been happening and be like, oh, that's why. Like, oh, that semester junior year, whenever I could not do anything until the last minute, and then I just finished it all in 12 hours of non-stop writing. That was probably a manic episode. And I have those more frequently than I think. It was getting those words out of a medical professional's mouth that I could then confidently look at it and be like, this is what's happening to my head. So this is why that happened, and this is why this is happening. And at this point, it's not fully helping me really know what to do with it, but it's making me feel more like I can deal with it. And I know that it's real. I guess as these continue, as I am calling them my antidepressant diaries, though I guess that might not be as accurate now. We're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna see what's going on. The year's about to close, and hopefully I will continue to do this, and even for just myself, document how the next year goes, and see if like this medicine helps me, see if just having a name helps, and maybe like see my progress. So that's where I'm at currently. So currently I'm still on the Wellbutrin. I've also started the mood stabilizer, Voltura, to see if I can not cry every 5 seconds. Yeah, so that's where I'm ending 2018, is on this slew. Hopefully the next year is better. One of my New Year's resolutions, actually, I will say right now, is to take better care of myself in the mental health vicinity of things, because I am not known for that. But I'm gonna try. Maybe we can be sad like 80% of the time instead. If I've posted this somewhere and you've watched it, thanks for listening to me ramble about my brain for a while. Check back, see if I post anything more about my brain. Maybe I'll also start doing other things, because another New Year's resolution is to just create more. That's all I have, and until the next entry of my antidepressant diaries, see ya!